Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. You might notice some things are a little bit different today. I bought a dedicated camera. So I have an actual platform now that is dedicated entirely to shooting and recording these videos instead of just using my phone. So that's pretty exciting. Let's get into the video. Today we're making the beef bourguignon recipe from the Layout cookbook. I've made this once before actually. It's pretty easy in comparison to other things in this book, which is great because I'm extremely tired. I was out last night and didn't get home until about 2 in the morning and didn't go to bed until about 3. So let's get cooking. So the first step in our recipe is going to be to take our chuck roast here, 2 pounds of chuck roast. We're going to cube it into 1.5 inch pieces. The first time I made this recipe, I actually used just what was called stew meat, which was a lesson in learning that stew meat is not great. Apparently stew meat is just low quality cuts that are left over from the cow at the end of all the butchering process. So there's our beef cut up into, roughly 1.5 inch pieces, roughly. We're gonna salt and pepper this. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to just set this aside for now. So next we're going to take 4 onions and we're going to thinly slice these. I'm going to use my mandolin for this. Now I don't want whole like rings, so I am cutting these down the middle, leaving the base intact. And I'm hoping what that will do is give me nice crescent shapes on the mandolin. So there's all of our 4 onions, nice and sliced. Next we need 6 carrots cut into 1 inch pieces. The last time I made this, I didn't peel them. And honestly, it was pretty fine, so I'm not going to peel them this time either. So there's our 6 carrots. They are peeled in the picture. He doesn't say to peel them. I'm assuming it's something that is assumed that you will do. I just don't feel like it, so I'm not going to. So we're over here now. We have a Dutch oven here. I'm gonna turn the heat up to a medium high and put in some olive oil there. He said to not let it smoke, and it is starting to smoke. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit and start adding in, we're gonna start adding in the meat in batches. Until it is nice and golden, nice and brown. You can't really tell. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put in our onions. It seems like a lot of onion. I'm going to do a little bit more oil in there too. We're going to reduce the heat as well at this point to a medium high. I just went straight to medium because I was already on medium high. And we're just going to let these reduce down. As someone in one of the previous videos said, there's no such thing as too much onions. And this is going to take about 10 minutes. All right, so this has been going for about 10 minutes here. At this point, we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of flour. So there's half, 1, 1.5, and 2. Give this a mix. And then we're gonna let this go for another 5 minutes. So while the onions are going, let's talk about wine. I know next to nothing about wine, so when I was looking at this, I thought Burgundy was like a type of red wine and you had to get Burgundy. What I found out in my 3 minutes of research at the wine section of the grocery store is that Burgundy, region of France, knew that, but they primarily produce Pinot Noir grapes and Gamay grapes. I am probably pronouncing that wrong. In that research, I also found that the Pinot Noir grapes we have in California or elsewhere around the world are essentially identical to the Pinot Noir grapes in Burgundy. But I wanted to make sure I actually got a wine that was from the Burgundy region, so I got this. We're gonna give it a shot. It is not Pinot Noir grapes, it is the Gamay grapes. We'll see. All right, so it's been that additional 5 minutes. This is what our onions are looking like for now. It still seems like a lot of onion. But it is time for us to add in the wine, if I can even get it open. Okay, so into this, we're going to add 1 cup of our red wine. And we're gonna scrape. So then into this pot, we're going to put back in our meat, our carrots. In this pouch, I have a big sprig of rosemary and some garlic cloves as well. We're gonna tuck that in there. A little bit of beef stock. He says to use demi-glace if you have it. Otherwise, he doesn't say to use beef stock, but I'm going to anyways. And then we're gonna add in enough water to about cover the meat by about 1/3. I think it's gonna end up being about 3 cups. And then we're gonna bring this to a boil. Okay, so now that this is at a boil, we're gonna reduce to a simmer for 2 hours. Check back with you when this is done. All right, so here we are about 1.5 hours later, not the full 2 hours. Anthony says this is ready when it's fork tender, and I mean, like, look at that. That seems pretty ready to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and serve this up. And so here we have the beef bourguignon from the Léal cookbook with some beautifully cooked and browned meat and carrots and full of onions. But how's it taste? Carrots are really nice. Oh, the broth is really nice too. There's just something magical about red wine and beef and slowly cooking for hours. But let's get into that beef. Hot. It is very hot, but oh my God, it is delicious. Recooking this and using chuck instead of the cheap stew meat I used before was an absolute fabulous call. This is so tender and so delicious and so like look at this. It just pulls apart. It's very hot. It's very simple, which is great. God, it's so good. Make this, please.